cooking up something special today for the one quarterback gang.
Come on.
We've got a fresh, hot off the press 2024 one quarterback mock draft for you guys. Do us a massive favor. Go ahead and smash that like button. Comment down below if you're part of the one quarterback gang.
Please.
And just so you guys know, we are using the landing spots for Pro Football Network's AJ Schultz. This mock draft was released on January 27th.
That is correct.
If you would like to go look at that, you can type that into Google. But at the 101, I'm going to take the 101.
You go for it.
And we're going to grab Marvin Harrison Jr. He goes to the Cardinals. We know this. We know this by now. I mean, how many times have you heard this? Marvin is probably a Cardinal. It's almost likely locked and loaded unless the Patriots do something crazy, but I'll take him here at the 101.
I mean, phenomenal pick. Let me tell you a better pick here, though. This is genuinely probably the best pick in the draft. Some would say an elite prospect, falling to the 106 in the NFL draft. Malik Nabers going to the New York Football Giants. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care if it's Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets, Tyrod Taylor. I don't care who it is. Malik Nabers is the guy. He is the game changer here at the 102 to the Big Apple. It's really in New Jersey, but going to the beloved New York Giants. I mean, the 102 is phenomenal. Please, I want this.
Absolutely love me some Malik Nabers. So that's hot, fire hot. Call the fire department. All right, at the 103, I have a huge decision to make.
Huge.
And you know what? Damn it. I'm going Brock Bowers. I'm going Brock Bowers here at the 103. This is against what I would typically do. This is really against what I would typically do because Brock is not technically my best player available. Mm-hmm. However, he's in the same tier as the next best player available for me. So I don't think it's that big of a reach here to take Brock. If Rome was in a different position, and I'm not saying I hate his landing spot, I probably would consider it. But to know that Brock Bowers is going to land with, new coaching staff, Jim Harbaugh, this is the first pick that he made as the head coach there. He gets to go with Justin Herbert, be the number one weapon of the future for this. Chargers are trying to find their Travis Kelce and, their Sam Laporta. And Brock Bowers, I finished scouting him when we released V2. And let me tell you, this is probably the best yak threat we've ever seen at the position.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
I'll take him at the 103.
Phenomenal pick here. Jim Harbaugh's first pick back as Los Angeles Charger, which is exciting. At the 104, you kind of mentioned him, Rome Odunze. He does go to the New York Jets. He links up with Aaron Rodgers, and he is the perfect complementary wide receiver to. This is the Devonta Smith to the A.J. Browns. This is the Jalen Waddles to the Tyreek Hill. This is the T. Higgins to the Jamar Chase. The success is still going to be there, even if he has an elite wide receiver flanking him. And I think this is a perfect example of still going with the talent over the landing spot. Rome Odunze to the New York Jets at the 104.
I love it. There are no weaknesses to his game. He would complement Garrett Wilson perfectly. Mm-hmm. They're different type of wide receivers. Aaron Rodgers would love to have that big body to kind of throw those deep balls to as well. A red zone threat. By the way, I don't know if you know this. Okay. We talk about how good, we consistently talk about how good Rome Odunze is at contested catches, right? I feel like that's something that we've talked about. He improved so much from 2022 to 2023. Does anyone actually know how many contested catches he had? Because I went back to look at this again, and a lot of people just look at the percentage. All right, so he caught 50%, 60%, 70% of the contested catches.
Right.
Well, this year, okay, he caught 75% of his contested catches. That's awesome. But what if I told you he had 28 contested catch opportunities?
Sheesh.
It is so much more impressive when you look at the volume. He was 21 out of 28 on contested catches this year.
That's wild.
That's honestly insane when you really think about it, in my opinion. So love this fit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Odunze's gone, and I think, I have two incredible options here. I know for sure they're going back to back.
Just pick your poison here. And I think this is exactly what we've been talking about. Pick your poison, and the draft is going to dictate this for you. Continue.
Yep, this player went a little bit earlier, and he goes to the Jags, so I'll take Brian Thomas Jr. He links up with Trevor Lawrence. You know, Trevor Lawrence has a nice deep ball this year. It didn't really work out. There were so much inconsistencies between him and the wide receiver room. But Brian Thomas Jr., he can go up, he can get the ball. He's good after the catch. He's a great deep ball threat, reliable hand. So I'll take him here at the 105, linking up with Trevor Lawrence. And I know you're about to take the next guy.
Yeah, 100%. And if you guys haven't been with us on our live streams, we said Brian Thomas Jr. and or Troy Franklin are the two guys that we kind of been struggling with. There's my wide receiver 4A and 4B. I do have Brian Thomas Jr. higher than Troy Franklin, but the draft, essentially, I'm letting the draft make that decision for me. Whoever goes higher, whoever goes to the better landing spot, I'm going to dictate that. I think both these guys do bring the same thing. Could bring the same fantasy value, just in different ways. More of a slot wide receiver in Troy Franklin, a guy that can stretch the field, versus a big body wide receiver for Brian Thomas Jr. Troy Franklin, in this scenario, he does fall to the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is a perfect weapon for somebody like a Patrick Mahomes that can, stretch the field, that can also get another slot wide receiver, that they can get creative here. So give me Troy Franklin to your Chiefs.
Yeah, I think he complements that team really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
They need a deep ball threat like that. And I'm up. There's still a first-round wide receiver available, and it's probably ignorant for me to pass on him here. But I want to make sure to get the guy. We'll grab Jonathan Brooks here. He goes to the Cowboys at the 107.
Yeah.
Could you dream of a better landing spot, a better team fit for a player behind that offensive line? He stays in the state of Texas. He gets to play with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and that explosive offense. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to wait, but that is beautiful in my opinion, so I'll take it.
I completely agree. And I think in a one quarterback mock draft here, the running backs, if they do land in the right position, could be the perfect opportunity here. If you have been following with this mock draft, both of these tight ends do go in the third round, essentially back-to-back. Running backs, and Trey Benson, my RB2. I do have Jonathan Brooks, even with that ACL tear, as my RB1. Trey Benson goes to the Green Bay Packers. We've seen what A.J. Dillon's done. We've seen the ascendance of Jordan Love. Adding another big body running back that has that decent speed, that can play aggressively in between the tackles. This is exactly what you want here for the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. A massive, massive addition in Trey Benson for them.
And I probably would have gone Trey Benson over Jonathan Brooks if I knew A.J. Dillon was somewhere else, or like Aaron Jones, they decided to move on or whatever.
Sure.
That's the only reason I went Brooks straight away. But two very, very good options there. Okay, I'm up on the board, and I feel like I have to do it, and I don't want to disrespect the player. He goes with the 28th overall pick in the first round. Keon Coleman goes to the Buffalo Bills, and we keep talking about how landing spot is so important for a guy like Keon because of his limitations as a separator. Kind of perfect with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
All you need to do is be better than Gabe Davis, and the fantasy community is going to accept you. And you're already better than Gabe Davis. So again, not a very good separator, not very good versus man, versus press. But what I will say is he has all the skill sets to succeed in this offense. Hey, Stephon Diggs is going to put people in a blender, as a route runner.
Right.
Dalton Kincaid's a good route runner.
Mm-hmm.
All we need you to do is to extend the field, and when Josh Allen gives you those one-on-one jump balls, go up and come down with it. Now, oddly enough, we talk about Keon as like a jump ball winner. What would you think like his contested catch percentage would be? Like at minimum, you got to be hovering around 50%, right?
I'm on 100%.
Okay, well that's unrealistic. But
I know.
This year,
where's he at?
Keon Coleman had 30 contested catches. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of contested catches. We just talked about how Rome Odunze had,
28?
28. He caught 21 of 28. 75% of his contested catches were caught. Keon Coleman caught 10.
Out of 30.
10 of 30 contested catches. 33.3%. So, a little something to not be completely worried about, but something that's certainly not encouraging. What I will say is there's a lot of context behind that. PFF doesn't always rank things perfectly or, decide what a contested catch is perfectly. Keep in mind, Marvin Harrison Jr. is at like a 43%, so it's not that crazy. But all I'm saying is when that's his best skill set, it's a little concerning, but I think it's a perfect fit, and I'll take him there.
Yeah, I completely agree here. All right, at the 110, I think this is where you could potentially take a quarterback. I'm not going to. I do want to shine a little bit of light here because I am starting to like this landing spot more and more and more personally. And I think this is where we disagree. And this might be a shock for you.
I know who it is.
Adonai Mitchell.
I don't know who it is. Okay, go ahead.
He goes to the Atlanta Falcons. The reason why I like this landing spot more and more and more is because I think I am starting to believe in Kyle Pitts less and less and less. And I know there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of weapons there. You think of Drake London, you think of Kyle Pitts, you think of Bijan Robinson, you think of all those guys. Adonai Mitchell could come in and play the wide receiver too. And what did they do? You get Raheem Morris, and he says, you know what? I'm bringing my offensive coordinator for the Rams to be the offensive coordinator for the Falcons. And they just had, and we saw what they did with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and how they integrated a fifth-round wide receiver to be integrated with Cooper Kupp, who was the wide receiver one for the past couple of years, or, top 5 wide receiver the past couple of years. I think I'm out on Kyle Pitts. Maybe it's a little bit too early for me to say, but I think Adonai Mitchell comes in and steps in to be the wide receiver 2 in this offense. I could be wrong. I could be crazy, but let's have fun here. This is the mock draft. Adonai Mitchell to the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm ready to walk off the set right now. No Kyle Pitts slander will be accepted.
No Kyle Pitts
y'all know
slander.
He's one of my buy lows right now, but I get it. Adonai Mitchell's a great player. I just hate the landing spot, but I get it. He's a great player.
Yeah.
I think quarterback's in play here.
Yeah,
and
I would agree.
If you're quarterback needy, go for it. But I do think there is one absolute gem still on the board when it comes to player and landing spot combo.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy has a chance, unlike Adonai Mitchell, in my opinion, unlike Keon Coleman. You could even make a case unlike Rome Odunze, this player has a chance to be the number 1 on his team from day one. Xavier Worthy went to the Carolina Panthers in round 3.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we keep saying? At least, myself, I can't speak for everyone, but the Panthers need a separator. They need a playmaking wide receiver that can separate at all levels of the field. Xavier Worthy can do that. He can separate at all levels of the field. Now, he's not going to be a dominant versus press coverage or anything like that, but you can move him all over the field. You got a young, exciting player for Bryce Young to kind of grow around. So I'll take Xavier Worthy there at the 111, the fastest player in the draft, a good route runner, super twitched up, ridiculous, snorting, G Fuel before every game. So I'll take him at the 111.
Yeah, look, that makes sense here. Xavier Worthy, phenomenal. The reason why I didn't take him, because he fell to the 3rd round. Look, we've seen success at the wide receiver position who went in the 3rd round. Adonai Mitchell, I think, went essentially a whole round ahead of him. He went in the early 2nd, the top 50 pick, but Xavier Worthy went with the 65th pick in this mock draft. At the 112, I'll go ahead and take the first quarterback off the board. I'll take Caleb Williams here, going to the Chicago Bears. If you're in a 1 quarterback league, and we've kind of been expressing this a lot, if you don't have the top 8 quarterbacks, your Patrick Mahomes, your Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, the CJ Strouds, and throw whatever other quarterback you want to put there. If you don't have those guys in a 1 quarterback league, I think Caleb Williams could potentially go as high as the 110 because that's how much of a generational elite quarterback we're thinking of here, being compared to the likes of Patrick Mahomes. In a 1 quarterback league, he can instantly change your team. No doubt about it. And he goes to the Chicago Bears here with DJ Moore as well. So that's really exciting.
So the question has been for a long time, if Caleb goes to the Bears, who goes to the Commanders? Because we assumed they would have Ben Johnson.
Right.
It seems like nobody wants us, man. Nobody wants Washington. Why? Nobody wants us. I'm going to go Jane Daniels here. He went at 3 overall to the Patriots. And, this is my 2A, my 2B. If you have a strong preference between Daniels and May, be my guest. Go crazy. I have no problem with that. But I'm going to go Jaden Daniels here. Purely from a fantasy perspective, rushing upside, we got a quarterback who has that Konami code, if you will, back-to-back years over 1,000 rushing yards, back-to-back years over 10 rushing touchdowns. He is a threat in the air. He's a threat on the ground, dual threat, and it doesn't mean to disrespect him as a passer because he's very good, super accurate, over 71% of his passes completed in the SEC this year. Now, they draft Jalen Polk in the 2nd round to help him out a little bit. Who knows what they do in free agency? But I hate to say it, I feel much better about the Patriots from like a PR perspective of getting their guy early, then the Commanders just kind of hung out to dry right now.
And I completely agree. And at the 102, I'll go ahead and take Drake May, who does go to the Washington Commanders, and kind of just building off of that conversation and that point. It does worry me. Now, look, you still have Mike Vrabel that's out there. You still have Dan Quinn that's out there as we are recording this video. That is available. I still would like those two guys to go to the Washington Commanders, but there's no offensive mind head coaches that were available, which is crazy that they did not hop on and try and get. But still, I still believe in the talent. I still believe that, they can come in and have the weapons around him with Terry McLaurin, with Jahan Dotson. And I think going in with whatever offensive mindset, even if it's still Eric Bieniemy, there still should be success there, no matter the head coach and offensive coordinator. I'm hoping. So I'll take Drake May here at the 202.
Yeah, I'll probably go running back here. I think I'm going to take... You know what? I think I'm taking Bucky Irvin here at the 203. I'll go Bucky. Okay. Super flex quarterbacks are going to go earlier. I probably should have taken a couple wide receivers first. Whatever. I went Bucky Irvin. He went in the 5th round to the Vikings. Great landing spot. No running back I feel like has that job on lockdown. Mm-hmm. Bucky Irvin, we really like. You and I talked about it. Over 60 targets this year.
Amazing.
A PPR threat. I compared him a little bit to Tajay Spears of this year. So I'll take Bucky Irvin off at the 203 there.
Yeah, love Bucky Irvin. Mine, James Cook of the 2024 class. At the 204, I'll go ahead and take Jalen Polk here. He was the first wide receiver off the board in the 2nd round, and he goes to the New England Patriots. Instantly steps into some opportunity. I think he becomes the wide receiver 1 here in this offense. This is also the 2nd pick that this new head coach regime does take. Obviously, you see he does link up here with Jaden Daniels. So Jaden Daniels, Jalen Polk easily should be the connection that we are hoping for there at the 204. So I'll take him there.
Yeah, I'll take... That's probably the right pick I should have made, but I'll take Ladd McConkey off the board here at the 205. And, people always say, wait, aren't you a Ladd guy? Why didn't you take Ladd earlier? Obviously I love Ladd, but I can also recognize that if he goes in the 2nd round to the Eagles, consistency is going to be very difficult for quite some time. Now, we've heard trade rumors about A.J. Brown. I don't think that's happening. But if it does, of course, that makes things easier. But at this moment, presently, as we record this video, I love you, Ladd. You're not beating out A.J. Brown. Probably not beating out Devonta Smith. You probably beat out Dallas Goedert in the rotation, but at best you're 3rd. That's tough. So I'll take him at the 205.
That is tough. All right, Xavier Legette here going to the Indianapolis Colts in the 2nd round. And in this world, maybe Michael Pittman is not on the team. Maybe he is on the team and he's more of a complimentary wide receiver too. I personally think Xavier Legette steps up, and if Michael Pittman stays on this team and becomes the wide receiver 2, either on the outside or somebody that can play in the slot, that can bring a little bit of versatility. Now, he's not the 6'3" that we all were expecting, but he plays with that 6'3" body frame. He's currently 6'1", I think 225 at the moment. We've seen a little bit of highlights from the Senior Bowl, so I'll go ahead and take Xavier Legette going to the Colts.
Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure.
I'm interested. There's a couple guys I think.
I'm gonna grab Jermaine Burton here.
Okay.
He went in the 4th round.
Okay.
This is probably just me showing too much bias, but I love me some Jermaine J. Cole Burton. Just a great separator, man. So fun to watch. If you enjoy film, you'll enjoy Jermaine Burton. He's a dog, plays above his weight. He's not afraid of anybody. I'll take him at the 207. Probably too early. There are 2nd round wide receivers on the board, but I hate their landing spots.
Yeah, I'm not in love with the landing spot either, which makes me want to pivot to the running back position at the 208. Blake Corum goes to the Baltimore Ravens.
It's probably the right pick again. Damn it.
He goes to the Baltimore Ravens, and whoever goes to the Baltimore Ravens is instantly going with the opportunity. He takes over this Gus Edwards role, young, fresh legs, a guy that knows how to play in this hardball quote unquote system. Yeah, he was playing with the brother that went to the Chargers, but now he's going to the brothers at the Ravens, and he is going to be getting, talked up by his brother. Yep, Blake, great worker, hard hitting, hard runner, and a goal line opportunity. That's exactly what you want here at the 208.
All right, at the 209, I'm kind of honestly in a lot of conflict here internally because it's like a combination of players I love with terrible landing spots and players I don't really like with good landing spots.
Mm-hmm.
The more I personally dove into Jatavion Sanders, the less I was really impressed. But I'll take him at the 209.
Okay.
He went to the Bengals in the second round.
Okay, I would have let him fall. I didn't think you would take him.
Yeah, it got to the point where he was the best value, and I'm not gonna say I don't like Jatavion Sanders. I was just when I actually dove into the film, I was less impressed than I thought I would be.
Sure.
Based off of expectations, I don't think he's a very good route runner at all. He's not got much wiggle or twitch in the open field. I know he's a tight end, but still, even for the tight end position, for how much we hyped him up as an athlete, I was just underwhelmed, not disappointed, underwhelmed.
Sure.
But he's a straight line down the field runner, but he's not getting there quickly, is what I'm trying to say.
I hear you.
But I'll take him there at the 209.
Okay, I'll take another running back here. He goes in the 5th round. Don't love the capital, but he does go to an interesting landing spot. Marshawn Lloyd goes to the Arizona Cardinals here. I know James Conner, is there. Does he move on from this team, or does he play, the pass catching back, the twitchier guy in the first year, and then takes over that role maybe in 2025 here? So I'll take Marshawn Lloyd to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah. Damn. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what to do next. There's going to be a lot of people on the snubs list. I'll say that. I'll take Jalen McMillan. I can't not draft my guy. I can't not have him on the list. I got to show him some love. Jalen McMillan, why did he fall so far? He went to the Lions. He went to the Lions. How does he succeed here for fantasy?
It's just not ideal, really.
Monra, Sam Laporta, Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs. How does he become a consistent producer? But I'll bet on the talent. 2nd round pick to the Lions. Jalen McMillan off the board.
At the 212 in a 1-quarterback league, this is probably not something that a lot of people would do, but I think we need to shine some light to J.J. McCarthy, he's a 1st-round quarterback, top 20 pick. He goes to the Los Angeles Rams. It may not be something that's going to happen now, but if you were to potentially get him at the 212 and be your backup quarterback to an older quarterback that you have, or a quarterback in question, maybe you have a Daniel Jones, maybe you have a Matthew Stafford, a Geno Smith. Drafting someone like a J.J. McCarthy in the 2nd round, late pick there, is exactly where you potentially want to go, going to the Los Angeles Rams, which is exciting.
Yes. All right. We have to do the all snubs list because there's obviously players that should have been drafted that weren't. I'll start us off with Tez Walker. He went to the Browns. I like Tez. I've never been as high as him as the rest of the people in the community, and it's a good landing spot. It is.
It is.
Braylon Allen, he went in the 4th round. People are going to hate that we didn't draft him. I just do not understand the fit. I cannot for the life of me understand how he fits the Texans. Texans need a receiving back, someone open, and a Devin Singletary, but better. They didn't have that. It's going to highlight Roman Wilson too.
Yep.
He is getting a lot of hype at the Senior Bowl. Lot of hype. And I'd like to reserve my opinions for our rookie report, so I'm not going to say anything yet.
Okay.
But everyone who has access to our rookie report,
go check it out.
Will be able to see that. By the way, I don't even know if we've talked about that yet, but did we talk about that?
We have not. We can definitely talk about it now.
Our 2024 Rookie Report version 2.0 is available on the Flock Fantasy website. Go check that out if you haven't yet. You need to be a Mother Flocker member and sign up with the promo code LAND if you have yet to do so. But we dive in deep to this class. We cover all different positions: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Here's an example of Marvin's profile, but you get that for all these players in this class. And there's a lot of good names deep in this class at the wide receiver spot. Roman's one of them. I'll leave my opinion for people on that rookie report. Who else for you?
For me, Ricky Pearsall, he goes to the Broncos in the 4th round. Jerry Jeudy potentially walking away. Same thing with Cortland Sutton. I think this could be a really interesting thought process here for Ricky Pearsall. Also getting a little bit of hype at the Senior Bowl. Somebody else at the tight end position, Jaheim Bell, going to the Chiefs. The Chiefs do win the Super Bowl. I think it's a higher chance that Travis Kelce is probably no longer with this team.
Okay.
I could be wrong, But if that is truly the case and they draft Jaheim Bell and Travis Kelce does retire, this could be an interesting pathway with the Chiefs in the 3rd round.
Yeah, Javon Baker, I love him. Went to the Titans. Then Jalen Wright as well, who went to the Bills. Love him. You know, I'm surprised you didn't take either of your guys in this draft or talk about them yet. Malachi Corley, Jacob Cohen, both went in the 2nd round. One to the Jets, one to the Bengals. I think they deserve to be on the snub list too.
Yeah, I was definitely going to be taking them after this. But yeah, I love Jacob going to the Bengals and Malachi Corley to the Jets. I think it's a little bit tough to see Malachi Corley to the Jets in this one with Rome Odunze and then Garrett Wilson. I think he potentially get lost, but Jacob Cohen or Cowing, however you say it, going to the Bengals is a phenomenal pick.
So there's definitely more, but let's call it there. There's definitely more, but let's call it there. Otherwise, we're just doing a 3rd round. But drop a like. We'll see you guys soon. Hope you enjoyed it all up. Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, LAND, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh.
It's so easy. Even your grandma could scan that QR code right there.